sacral chakra today. Because it's summer, I cannot go out. I still have my hurt ankle, and but it's much better. But I feel it when I'm walking. It's still so sensitive to area. But I found this really cute little black pink one that I will be wearing for a little while, like probably next week. And I will definitely be doing my toenails because I could not do them because the ankle was so swollen. I want to chat a little bit with you about sacral chakra and sensuality and adding to your blissful orgasmic state in your life. In a non like this is a trauma informed way, and I'm mindful of people's boundaries. So I'm just describing the practice as well as I do give a little tours and just describe the overall concept. And if you want to look further, there are great resources online and there are teachers for every single step. And I personally, I started yoga with 17 and I like it because I just did a whole year with yoga routine. And sometimes I even did it in my own home, which was a good sign for me. I knew I would be continuing like after school, I was busy partying, so it was a very good sign. And so I really recommend learning practices like that with teachers or in a course. Um, and definitely, if it's possible, at least on Zoom, because people have more time, they check in with you, you can ask. And obviously, you can also start with YouTube. But for example, I had a teacher when I started with the yoga practice. I knew, like I could look at her directly. She would show us the exercises. Actually, she was not dogmatic around it, but she was exact. And I like that I, for example, started this journey with more sensual and embodied spiritual routine because it is, for example, yoni yoga is just strengthening also the yoni muscles as well as it does help you connect to your sacral area, also probably connected to the root area, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm not a yoni and I'm not a yoga teacher. And like this is a jade egg, so it's a little crystal. So that is probably a bit advanced. So I will not be starting with that, but that was my first step because I met her in my dance teacher's course in the lockdown, which she did held online, which was so fun because at the time you could go nowhere, and I was so glad that she threw something out, a little upliftment. Honestly, it was so stressful at the time everywhere, so I was glad to see familiar faces. And then there was somebody, this yoni egg teacher, my yoni egg teacher. She had a Facebook, and I liked her because she shared in the circle, in the dance circle. And then I looked her up on Facebook because I like to connect with people who have similar interests because they normally typically share also beautiful events and whatever. And if it's too private, they will not accept. So I just sent her that invite because also for yoga teachers it's quite normal that sometimes people do connect. And then I found out that she does also do this yoni egg practice. And I, like she said, something in the dance that I was a little bit interested. I started listening, but I don't really 100% remember. And then I just joined the course because it did come up like just a few months later in beautiful spring, and it was on 2 afternoons. It was quite a long time, and it was called Jade Goddess. And I was like, oh, cool, what is Jade Goddess? But I was already interested because I found in my free time in the lockdowns, I found many more new posts about, for example, these jade eggs because I like crystals, and I just noticed that that women seem to like those jade eggs, and then I was like, I didn't really know what are they for. Like I obviously knew it is to work with your yoni, but I really did not 100%. Like I could read that it is a yogic practice. I had no idea how it works. I already had it a little bit in my mind, and then I did a line, and I found a teacher, and she showed us this afternoon, or probably day, morning to afternoon. Had a lunch break, and she was very motivated around it, and she lives a yogic lifestyle, which I always find very inspiring. So it was a beautiful time out for me. I ordered like healthy food for the day, so I made my favorite health food in between, so have a proper workshop day, because normally in those workshops you will probably eat also with them or somewhere where healthy food is available. Like I would like it, but it's not necessary. But like I had health food and fruits in my home, because I knew jade goddess and sensuality. I got the theme, but I had no idea how do I want to approach it. And then it just came from this yoga teacher, and it was very easy. She did tell us about the history part of it. She did tell us about the Tao teachings, and she gave us a whole map of content. I still have the map in my little folder here, which I like because I like reading about things. And also I did write down just a little bit. So it was not very complicated to understand. And it just gave an overview um, about what is it exactly, what this universal healing Tao is teaching. And it's a form of self-mastery and cultivating life energy. And that, like she just also introduced the Tao to us, which was so cool and very well structured. And then she described what the energy is. So it was so understandable and easy to approach. And like she had it from her yoga teachers, and she told us a little bit about her own path, which is very inspirational. I like it, you know, and if you work a little bit longer together, it's nice to understand where's the other person coming from. And then this describes where the jade axe comes from the old China, 5,000 years old practice for priestesses, princesses, and uh, queens. Now it is widespread 5,000 years later. So you can also get a rose quartz crystal, but I've read that it is mostly, like she told us, it's mostly jade egg. But I found it's a little bit harder to get the jade egg. I mostly found like this nephrite crystal. That I don't know where this came from, but you can find the right one, a shortcut in yoga stores. It's not that widespread, you know, because not everybody wants to work around this kind of work, and it's very sacred chakra. It's strengthening the energy, knowledge with the course, but also the flow in the body. So there is, and people did ask her even very tricky questions. And she knew because she had all the trainings. I believe she might also have a tantra course or two that she used. She does do ecstatic dancing and teaches all kinds of yoga, I assume, but she lives a little bit away from me. But I did resonate a lot with her teaching. And then we did inner smile meditation, which also part of the Tao course teaching and what she wanted in her Jade Egg course. And she did that for quite a while. And then we have 6 healing sounds from Mantak Chia, who you can find on Instagram. I don't have the handle from my yoga teacher, actually. I don't know. She's I don't know, but this is Mantak Chia. You can find him in books. He's so well known in Europe as well as in America. There are people who learn with him who already are like, there's schools and courses, like you can stream on his content. and in your own time. And I was a little bit feeling vulnerable about starting this course because I knew it will be about the jade egg and yeah, um, like yeah, it was a little bit inconvenient, but I already knew from Instagram that this jade egg is a good helper, and I needed the sacral chakra healing at the time. So I did look into it, and she also included six healing sounds, and for the lungs, for the liver, for the heart, and for the stomach, and all of that, different ones. Then we also added breast massage, which interestingly, but not interestingly, was my favorite practice of everything because it's so relaxing. It stimulates the hormones, and then you just put on your favorite oil or coconut oil is what I used at the time, because also it is very easily absorbed and your breast gets so beautiful. And I had really the feeling that they are starting to blossom, just like it is described. And then she said uh, that the vagina, they are represented by with leaves, so we think of flowers and blossoming, which I thought, coming from this little bit crazy sexualized culture that this society is, I was like, wow, that's an image of sacred chakra work that I really adore. And that does help you produce chi for the body, nourish the body, and that's why I'm very glad that I started it with this teacher. I did invest in the whole course for the whole weekend. There is another ovary breath which I forgot. But I remember now. And then microcosmic orbit practice, which is a very favorite and widespread practice with the Tao teachings. It's a very good overview. It's very good to understand, and we got even a mantra for chanting, which I did chant for over a month, and then a little bit of knowledge about what the organs stand for and why it is a good idea to nurture them with the chi, and that came from the yoga teacher is so understandable, and it's just another yoga course for me. She gave us these little pictures, to understand what is the microcosmic orbit breath, and that is something she did draw for us to understand the chakras. That was so good, actually. I really, with her, I could follow. It was easy. It was non-dogmatic for me. And then after the break, I think we started with so we had a full morning understanding this practice and a proper overview about Tao arts, which I already was interested in, but I was so into the research bubble that I I did not notice how interesting I will be finding it, but I just recognized years later that I mostly loved Tao. So I already did buy a course. There's another one, and I have audio. So I am very much connecting to the Tao teachings at the moment, and I love working with Mantak Chia because I'm assuming it's also where she learned from. I've not asked, and he has on-demand courses, live courses, and Instagram, Facebook, and website presence. So you can find everything. and he also, I think he does answer to comments at one section. So that's something where sometimes very helpful. If you practice, you will find you will have questions about how the exercise is like, and then so once we got the drill, we understood the basics, which were very interesting actually. I will probably look back at it when I do my sacral chakra workbook for a little bit, or maybe a quote or so. And she wrote that for us, like it has her name on it. And I just like those things, giving it my map and finding it, and then I know all the things that I got to know in all the workshops and all. So I can find them. And like I loved that you connect with the smile to the inner smile practice. I did that for a little bit, but I was like, oh, that's not so. But it came up for me already. I think I mentioned it in a video. Like with the meditation, I like to include the inner smile sometimes. You can do that with those old practices. Like you just don't call it Tao. But if somebody would ask where the inspiration comes from, you can say, this is from my Tao course. And I just felt like adding the inner smile because it would be good to to work with the heart chakra. And then we started this yoni egg practice, and she did show us exactly how do you use the crystal, what best way, because it has a little string in there, and she's just said the tooth scraper line thing. Just pull it out, and then you pull it through the egg. Obviously, wash and look for hygiene with the egg. And then there are different sizes. She said like use the normal, middle one. Like she would recommend that because it's good. She also said you can carry up to 16 kilograms with your muscles if you train them well. And obviously, she also said that the quality in your sex life does improve with the practices. And then you just, she said you can or you don't need to, because the cameras was closed. And then also with the breast massage you could close. She just showed it on her body, like not naked. And she just showed how to massage it, how often, and like it's very easy, and you get in a flow. And but it's very good with those kind of massages to really see that from the video or your teacher. But I would say if you start something very new, like this is very new to me, still it's very new to me because I've not used it a lot. But I do practice like inner smile. I do the orbit breath. I did that for quite a while. It comes up with different teachers. That's very favorite, and there are multiple ways how this is used, but this is connected to the sacral chakra and the jade egg practice. This orbit. So there are other. At the orbit is like focused breathing through you see, you just visualize um, through those points on the body that are described in the courses. Like you don't need to remember. I don't remember all of them. And so you breathe up to the on the back up. That's how I remember this breath. And then to the third eye, you hold your breath and then follow up down the body. And this is the microcosmic oil breath. And I love how this is really symbolizing the this continuous cycle of energy that our body is too. I love how the body points are connected, and also like for me I think of the chakras because this similar breath that is also works with the chakras. And that's my favorite is breath work from those courses, with mindfulness, because it does help me train. And I also love, like there was another course by I don't remember her name. What's her name? She's very famous and favorite in Germany. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it comes up later. But in this other course in Germany, we learned, we had people join from all around time, and there was someone who did a micro movement with your hip and your body, introducing a mindful, sensual style of mindful embodied awareness. And so I liked breathwork because it's also very mindful. Also, you can do it anytime. It helps me connect to this chi energy, calming. And like, I don't do yoga a lot, but I could, in any practice, I could just add the yoga, and then I don't know. I probably would check what is advised. Are there practices who you should not do with the yoni egg, and then you could just do your favorite yoga practice with the yoni egg, and at the same time strengthen your yoni and your sacral area, and then connect with intentionally to sensuality, and also it's very healing talking about this little bit of a sexual, very beginner tantra practice. Like breathwork is very beginner. And also jade egg is very beginner. Like that's what I know now. I've not known in the beginning. And I was not frantically searching. It did find me. And that's what I like. The Reiki found me too. The yoga found me too. And this is part of the yoga for me, obviously, because it is connected. And I like that I can always look back at it, and she was so beautifully and patiently explaining it to us, and then I did forget. I have something. I forgot the mudra. Oops. Oh la la. Oh, I killed my little clay art. I'm gonna glue it later. So I just love having it all put together in there with my little notes that I have. And after the course, I did continue the practice for a little while because I already felt like starting a sadhana. And this was before I did the Rose Priestess, or like at the same, like I think it was February or March. And then after that, there was another course that I started. So I had this practice already established in my home, and I asked her for a mudra with there was a mantra that she gave to us that strengthens your connection with this practice, and for the Jade Goddess, it was this beautiful mantra. And it is the Adi Shakti mantra. You can listen to it on Spotify, and then it just goes with the mudra, which I don't 100% remember, but I have on my drive. I still have the video that she very nicely sent me a few days later, because that was it. I felt like I had all of the important parts covered, because we did not get a recording, which is perfectly fine because she's normally not even online. I had good luck with it. And like this is just fell off, but it's fine. I'm just gonna glue it. It does easily break though. I'm gonna be careful with my move. So that was a good start. I felt very held, and first time starting working with sensual practice. And my favorite is like a simple technique with breath. We have a few other styles of breast massage. Like there are many forms working with different body points. Like, and I did do another course in spring, which includes the limbs for the breast massage, which starts with the neck and then goes through the, and then over the breast. And I don't 100% remember what she said, but you get lots of dopamine basically with the touch, and then there is a way how to touch. So that's why I think it's very good to not just follow books, or for example, and a YouTube video would all be a good start, but like more in depth, the teacher will be sharing in her own course, in her own on-demand course. That's just a recorded course that you cannot immediately ask, but probably you can email them, or like ask on Instagram or Facebook. So that's what I like, you know, just the availability. If I open myself for new practices, I also want to ask, be able to ask. And I have other books that do describe a little bit of athletic exercise and practice, and I never feel like using it because I want the whole exercise shown to me because it's easier and I know I will be doing it right. And if I just want to do anything, I will be doing anything, you know. And then I don't stick to somebody else's advice. So that's what I'm thinking. That's why, yeah, I would not want to learn yoga from a book, because obviously teacher thinks of many other things and sees what you're doing, and then he can just add to it, and you learn how to move and how this exercise should look like. And especially coming from somebody who does yoga for a long time, that makes absolute sense, because there is even like there's yogic science behind yoga exercises. That's how cool it is. And yeah, that's how I introduced sensuality into spiritual routine with the Tao. And then I did another course that also had lots of Tao, but not only. It was also sacral wisdom, which is another topic for me. And so I think the coolest practice is meditative state, favorite playlist, doing breath work, and maybe a few mudras. That's what I like. And then a little bit of dancing, but for me that would be like this micro movement, very aware, sensual dancing that I personally would want to connect to it. And then there is other forms you can, if you like yoni X, you can also, there is like this crystal wands that people love, because you know the crystal has good energy and it does help working with the yoni, and you can work with that. And I've never really used that properly, and I just forgot about it after lockdown again. So, but I don't think it's bad at all. You can just add it to your pleasure practice, and I think obviously sensual practice also goes along with healthy and fitness. And then for me also looking after myself with, like, I love bath. It is said, and like for a long time women did use oil for spiritual and sensuality practice. For example, Ayurveda does too, even beautiful sesame oil massages, which are beautiful. And you can do that, and you can use that for breast massage. And I'm not gonna show you now because I would recommend my teacher. And also I love using cacao for like sensual practice. That's what I do. I just love to relax and connect to my healthy healing body, and do breath work and do massage, and work with the chakra with my focus, you know, and learn more about the chakra is also like reading about it, learning about it is also part of me to connect to my feminine path on a spiritual way. And definitely food is definitely good advice. If you want to feel better in your body, is always the first step. Is probably healthy food. Just I also had that in my home to connect to the intention. And then you can do, which is very beautiful, you can also do sounding. There are sounds that are connected to the sacral chakra, which can be fun if you like that. And just learn to free sound. That's what I learned. It's a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit tricky, I would say. In the beginning, you think that you need to find the perfect sound, because that's a little bit the expectation. And then you relearn, and then you learn to just let it sound out and sound whatever comes out. And then that is very freeing also for the creativity part, but also already work with the throat, which is beautiful. And then I personally like using scent before I put on my infrared light lamp, which also is part of more sensual, relaxing rejuvenation time. So it's not active practice, but it is one package for me, because it brings me in the body, it is relaxing, it does never make me tired, and I just put it on 10-20 minutes and I get a beautiful health benefits because it boosts my immune system, I feel. And there are never-ending books to read about it, which is very interesting. And then there is also never-ending exercises to find, and there are so many people who know practices with their own way. There was even somebody who did what's that called? This special dance with the ass. So twerk shop connected with Tao practice, which was fun. That's fun. It is also a good way to connect to your own sexuality without focusing on somebody else, and also in a non-sexual way. You gather the chi. It is healthy. It's a very good practice to stay also well and healthy. It does help me be in a little bit in more feminine and strengthen my femininity and get a little bit more in flow and connect to pleasureful emotions, as well as there are people who love to find even a blissful orgasmic way of living, which comes from this strict spiritual path of this more high vibe frequencies, which I've noticed, which is your own choice. If you, because they, like, I think most of them, there must probably be some kind of spiritual teacher, because I don't think this is aligning for people who have the regular jobs. But it's really flowy and nourishing, and in this way I learn to hold the feminine more. So that's another topic. So there are chakras like cranial. That is the favorite one. That is connected with sacral chakra or womb work. I just got one. I don't know if it is here right now. Or lapis lazuli is also something that you can use. And just hold it in your hand while doing your breath work and connecting to the energy. And it's just very, very nice and freeing to connect to your body and to your femininity and your feminine flow and to your sacral chakra practice this way. And it's very nice that it's ancient, because I think it's a more beautiful approach to sexuality, which heals my heart a little bit. And because I think sex is special, and the person you do have intercourse with is also special, and I don't want to see people exploit that for just sexuality. So if ever that happens to you, you can come back to your own self and work with yourself and reclaim your body in many ways, especially with like this. Ovary breathing, that is very strong because they have lots of power, I feel. And I feel like, yeah, that has also emotional, beautiful effect on me, because it is, for me, it is deeper work than like yoga, because it's more for the outside body, and the breath work and the sensuality and even the yoni act, if I want to use it, is more for my internal processing, and helps me with my shifting emotional states, just like the infrared lamp. If I feel very stressed, I just put it on and brings me back more in the flow state. And like, yeah, if I'm holding grief, I put on the lamp, and it does feel refreshing. And I've not known this, I've not heard about it before the lockdown. And then I also love have a root chakra bowl, which I will not be opening right now, but this is the big one in all of my videos. It's the biggest one. I love to play it for grounding as well as root chakra work, and it's bringing me also more clearance and yeah, obviously a little bit of manifesting is also part of this practice. So I listen to positive affirmations and mantras for working around whatever I want to attract in my life. So I'm in this little bubble of blissfulness, my form of blissfulness: cacao, breathwork, breath massage, oil, scents, and relaxation, infrared light lamp, and a beautiful song on, and my favorite meditation that also sometimes have from teachers that I liked, that have this alignment, because I don't love everybody who does teach manifestation. I don't want it to come from greed, because I don't want to attract greed, for example. And that's what I think is very fun. And then also bathtub is for me sensual practice, just coming back to restfulness. And then magnesium salt really helps the muscles also relax. It's a good form to come into more well-being, to relax without finding deep transcendence in the meditation spaces, which is also possible. But I feel a little bit more held with this kind of embodiment, sensual practice. And there's way more to experience. This is just a beginner's view on it, and it's just a little bit of sacral chakra work, basically. And it's a super easy spiritual practice that is nourishing, that brings you more in connection with your body, that teaches you how to heal even your sacral chakra, or even your emotional body, I feel. And then if you see that from the taoist work, it also strengthens your chi, which is very healthy for your organs. And it's not complicated, and like I can do that on days where I have low energy. It gives me energy. That's why I think it's so beautiful. Because yoga, sometimes, for some days, I don't feel like standing on a mat, And other times I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make a power workout. I really do. And it still helps me find embodiment, and out of the head into the body, or even into the heart, if you wanna name it like that. It's a definitely heart strengthening practice. And yeah, there's so many good books. For example, Anaya Sophia's Sacred Union book is so fun to read. Like, I don't 100% always understand her exercises, This would probably take a full course and a full week to even start to understand what she actually writes about, because she's quite knowledgeable. But I love just thinking about sacred union and balancing and breath work and old ritual or ancient rituals. So I just love a little bit reading about those and connecting to the feminine path. It's also for me very healing, because I lived very much like many women in our times in the masculine, a little bit overperformed. And now I also like crafting. It brings me rest. I can put on my infrared light lamp. I can make something for my spiritual routine, just like the lotus candle, which I just broke. Or I'm just I made this little clay symbol with the earth, and just a little bit with spiritual intentional work, or maybe something for nature, which I find very grounding and connecting to the cycle, wisdom, knowledge, which also very interesting and very good addition to the everyday life, and also deeply connected with journaling practice. So you can always also use, after like a little bit more alignment, breath work, groundedness, then journal around the topic. That when you draw an oracle card for inspiration, and then yeah, that's what I like to do for sacred chakra work. And like it's probably most fun to just also connect to the practices. Like, it's not really something to understand really long. You just basically learn the practices, and then you choose the ones you like. And I just had like a month of sadhana going to get to know it and experience it, and then continued on and off throughout the lockdowns, and forgot about it again. I did forget about it again. And yeah, the cacao came with me, the breathwork came with me, and the bathtub always comes with me. But the other things, they are, and also the oil work, because that's another topic. But also I love working with scent and making oils, which is very fun. Extraction oils, and even wax melts is very beautiful, crafty, and nice smelling DIYs. And yeah, I know people don't really know enough about how fun it is to work with embodiment practices. And you can, that's why I say embodiment, because that they also work, like breath work is also for people who are not spiritual, you know. It's just like yoga exercises. They are for everybody. They are super inclusive, and it can really help. There are so great books, and even there were conferences around it in lockdown, and it's a very interesting topic. And I don't have a book right now other than the Sacred Union book that I want to show you. I have another one from before. I'm going to show this one though. I've never used it, just read a little bit about it. Because if you live a very mind-centered life, it's sometimes hard to connect to your own sexuality. And so I got in my 20s this book, Getting Off, A Woman's Guide to Masturbation by Jamie Waxman. And that's like what They also have the jade egg, like Chinese jade massage stone. Chinese jade is said to be connected with the heart chakra. So give yourself a hard on with this hard, solid dildo. You can heat it up or chill it down. Just be careful not to drop it because it can break. That would be a form of crystal wand. They describe crystal wands. And different other pleasure tools. And yeah, it's a beautiful description. A few little comic like, so it's easy to read. It's not pornographic. But it was not exactly what I wanted. Like, yeah. Just sometimes wanted to read something and never did it. So it was not the approach that I needed. That's because I want to work around sensuality. Your playlist recommendation. Talking about celebrities, like that's a little bit illegal. I've not seen that. The stigma of solo sex, if it feels so right, can it really be wrong? That's so funny. Sweaty. But that would be also a good starter for people who are not so into spirituality. You can find lots of tools. And it's more tools than practices, actually. Just a little overview. But also definitely encouraging and fun, and definitely very cheeky approach. It's definitely great if you have female friends that are open, get a book, look into Tao arts teachers like Mantak Chia, get a Yoni egg course. It is very beautiful. It teaches you to love your body more and more and more. Because sometimes if you overgive in relationships, also in the bedroom, you start feeling neglectful. Like I start feeling also neglectful. And then it's just replenishing and coming back to your own self is very helpful. And like self-care is a way to build more capacity for self-love. And even if you struggle with yourself mentally, you can still always care about your body because you don't want to neglect the body too. And it is not like it is not very, because it's not a time that ignores sexuality, because there were times that were very ignorant towards sexuality overall, because people think they have brains and they just ignore that the body is built for creation. So yeah, I think I feel lots of gratitude coming from those simple practices for the everyday. And then I learned to overcome my blockages to even talk about sexuality. And I am not somebody who will show up as a tantric arts teacher ever. But I will be loving you, guide you in a sensuality workshop. I will ask my favorite, yoga teachers to introduce you to the yoni yoga. If this ever will be a weekend, I will just show you. And there are people who have all the trainings, and they did that for a long time. And I mostly feel like this more touch-based micro movement, flowy, little bit of dance, burlesque. That's where I am, where I have most joy. Like I don't feel like I need the jade egg for sensual practice. But there are women who have this fiery sacral chakra. I would say mine is definitely more watery than fiery, but people have very fiery sometimes about sexuality. And like they have pleasure practices. They really connect to that. They embody more the archetype of the sex priestess even. That's a long story, but like there's just tantric teachers mostly. And they embody that and they can help people a lot on their own way to reclaim their senses, you know? And obviously goes deeper. Like that is not illegal. If you wanna join tantra courses, you don't need to be hiding. You know, this you might get naked even, but good ones they should offer the options to not do that. Like if that's on Zoom, they should tell you close the camera for the breast massage, but you can also just breast massage. You know. And I don't want to go deeper with that. I am well with sensual practice and the jade egg, mostly just adding also for the muscles as well as I think it does really clear and reclaim my body. Well, you can have lots of opinions about it, but I personally think it is really grounding me back into me. Because in sex, you can get so lost with other people's needs or the man's pleasure first, you know, that does happen. They don't hate it. um, it's good to feel yourself. And I have really good trauma informed teachers that do make those courses. And just that if you like the Tao way, Jad with any course for Mandak is not about only the sacral work. It is about vitality, boosters, healthiness. He does explain beautifully the most beginner parts. There are even a free resources, so that's where I would be starting. Or if you live in a bigger city, obviously there might already be teachers who do work with the Tao, Tao. And like I said, it's a super ancient path. And you can also ask your yoga teacher if she knows, if she does these workshops, if she knows these workshops, and maybe she has a book or so. Because I would not love to do this work with anybody. Like, I will not sit there and breathe through my ovaries with people that make me feel unsafe. You know? I want to feel home in a way and held, which I did with all the courses, because I would have just shut down the camera at the time. And it's probably a little bit different if you go there in person. So I would definitely research and ask other people who do those kind of work. Even on Facebook, people know people, you know, and it's not, it's a very more rare kind of workshop. Yeah, that's what I would, because you cannot find, except for example, that many options on Amazon, because people did really build, just like yoga studios, they also build their own online shops because they are so specific and niche that they order that for you and you order from them. Because yeah, don't mean the yoga clothes, but like there's yoga connected, I think even Buddhist art that goes with that sometimes, or I think it must be Buddhist, and that you can also order from there. And like that's also what I like, is like cramming my space with beautiful colors and inspiration coming from those new to me books. And I also like to include the seasons. So in summer, this is blue because I want to swim. And in winter, I love brown because it's a grounding color for me, connecting me with the forest. And I like Christmas colors all throughout winter, like dark red and dark green is my favorite. And in spring I love wearing flowers, so that adds to my feminine. Just I listen, I see. There was a time where I've not noticed how creative I am, and this practice does show me I am because yeah, there is the bodily way to strengthen, but also you can create also with your creativity. So that would be absolutely trauma informed and 40 every day, even if you're critical about this other kind of work, which I am honestly more curious. And I don't live in big city, so I just found whatever was online in the lockdown, and I don't have impression that anybody was very unprofessional. I felt like people are overriding other people's pace and emotionality, speeding up so little forcefulness. So I just naturally tended with the more embodied, flowy kind of teachers that I found, because they do offer free meditations. They do introductories for their courses, which is very helpful because you don't always know what it's really about. And then I just had most fun working with creativity, and started working around my throat chakra for singing a little bit more. I thought it would be fun to do more mantra style healing songs, and really wanted to get these crystal balls, which I did. So the creative practice is definitely the one that I feel is the strongest in the everyday. Like for example, playing my instruments is creative for me. It makes me feel so relaxed and connected to my heart and close to me. And then if I'm cooking, it is more like a mindful practice for me. It's not very creative. But when I'm trying to make new traction oils, it's more creative, so I get in this creative flow, which is also a beautiful way to replenish myself and also generate chi in a way, So I do see it in my face. It looks softer and more feminine in my 30s, even though my hormones and estrogen is decreasing in your 30s. It's beginning slowly because your body is not shocking you, absolutely. Like it is, but menopause is still probably hard, but your body is preparing. And because of this more restfulness in my own self and my body and my heart, I feel like I have a more restful inner beauty too, because I feel like this does not come from the outside. With those practices, I always feel connected to the home that I am, and it does easily flow into my everyday life too. And then I also like drawing cards for inspiration, and that is, well, altogether that would be my most favorite everyday feminine practice, including reading about cycles, the old books like this, not old but womb awakening. That's interesting because it also explains a lot about why goddesses were once and priestesses were once so honorable and important in old times. And it describe the symbolism and shows how they are still interwoven in church and is historically accurate. I did a little bit check even. And it is describing the old womb cults, and is now a beautiful historically accurate description of the goddess, honoring more nature religious view, and then goes into how people use those old stories and the old history knowledge in the now. And then it does describe even like chakras, and Shakti is described as like spiritual, full with spiritual wisdom and knowledge. And that is for my head too, because it's not very complicated. I'm not learning it by heart. So like this lunar root breathing, which is very interesting. Like, what is that? What are we doing? And then letting go, letting goddess. That is something that I feel was the most important thing for me last year, because I've been ill, and then in this book I found this really beautiful practice where I just put all the baggage that was too much and came up for me, lots in practice time, in the little purse, in the old one. Just wrote it on a little paper, put it in there, and then the purse. And the goddess did take care of it for me. So just then letting go is powerful, as well as just trusting that it will be cared of. And as somebody who grows up in a Catholic country, sometimes it can be a little bit strict just working with the old religion. So I really like this approach that I know from the UK with the goddess lore and the stories from the Celtics over there, and have a full deck with goddesses from over there that I will be showing you right now. Oops. Oh, wait for me, guys. I will be back. I need it. It's in the other room. This is so pretty. Like, I love the art, but I honestly, the book is a little bit crowded, but it is a good description of what the gods are like, and they are very knowledgeable, because I cannot even find some of the goddesses on Google, but most of them. So they already might know lots of Celtic gods, and those are not even from only from Britain. Like, there are some, I think, French, and I think some even in Austria, where I come from. And it is just this story about those old goddesses, and little description how to work with them. Like, what are they representing? Why have they been honored? Why did people love them? And what should I learn from them? That's a little bit what the deck tells me, honestly. Because I've not known, I still don't know many of them. I still don't know many of them, because it's just, I just got this one for Easter, I think. Dana is the goddess of empowerment. I know her. I think she's Irish, but I've never drawn this card. And then I feel very inspired by the art from the artists around her. For me, she seems strong, empowered. She has keys through the wisdom, which I see. She works with the lunar cycles probably, and then the birds. I see her as a free, strong, empowered woman, or goddess, because she is now a goddess. And what I would see, goddess of empowerment, is Irish. The keywords is emboldened, strengthened, and enriched. That's what she looks like. I love those cards. They're so pretty. But I need to read about her. It's a little bit witchy sometimes, but I wanted all of the goddesses, so I got it. Something wonderful will happen to make you feel on top of the world. It could involve love, family, career, or money. Dana's key signifies that your empowerment is key to this success. It will close the door on self-sabotage and open one to happiness. Your power increases as you take control, recognize your needs, and set new goals. What you have been hoping to happen is now within your grasp. You can sense it and will see it come to fruition. By rising above your fears and negativity, you are realizing your true self-worth. Fortuitous events arriving through divine power will redouble and reinforce your prosperity and empowerment. And I like drawing these cards. Isn't she so cool? I'm gonna draw 2 more because 3 is my favorite number with the cards. Mostly I'm done, except if it's my birthday. Marcia Proba, Goddess of Justice. Just from the name, assuming she's Italian, I've also never drawn her. Green, like it's mostly good luck symbol. Good luck for justice. She also looks a little bit Italian, doesn't she? Because of these dresses. And then one more card. Eine, Goddess of Love. I know her, but I forgot about her. But she's also Irish. Also, that like she looks Irish. Like she probably works with the seasonal Celtic wheel of the year. Deeply connected to the wild horses, probably in Ireland at the time. And Goddess of Love, which is beautiful that it is also about the animals, because yeah, they deserve love. I've been vegan. Marcia Porba. English. I would have never known. Integrity, virtue, and fairness. Marcia Proba's name means virtuous and upright. Like her, your virtue is an outward expression of your inner soul. When things are not harmonious, you feel unsettled and unhappy. Your conscience and sense of justice ensure fairness in the decisions you make. Every choice has a consequence. Your good deeds are an intention result in immediate and future happiness, while your bad decisions cause immediate or future suffering. You possess the energy to push things forward by gaining a deeper and kinder understanding of yourself. You're balancing your work and pleasure time better, reprioritizing and using good judgment in tricky situations. You'll have good relationships with people you may have fallen out with, which will bring happiness as you find a fair answer to a difficult dilemma. If you're involved in a legal situation or dispute with a trading company, negotiating fairly and approaching a higher authority will bring the result you want by lending weight to your side. What you presently say and do affects your future success. Oh, it's on point. This one is a good one. I'm resonating. 40. Goddess of Love, Eine. And the name has points. Romance, enjoyment, and procreation from Ireland. Eine symbolizes the highest ideal of female beauty, your own femininity, and feminine intuition. You don't have to be pretty to be beautiful and loved. You have the promise of happiness in love, and the flame of love light within you can never be extinguished. Aww, I love that. Oh, that's so sweet. Cute. Light a candle on Midsummer's Day for love light to come into your life, asking for it to keep your love for life bright. For love, for life. Oh, I love those cards. I love those cards. And the artist, if you look this up on Instagram, you can find her, is Giulia Cellini. That's her name. But the book is by Gillian Camp. I find there's a very rare rounded ending for this little self-love and beautifulness filled video life. I'm gonna go eat now. I had my cooking box coming today. And yeah, I hope it's a good introduction into whatever this is, sensuality practice and sacral chakra work, because there are many other ways to use all of those tools. That's just how I think it's easily for me to use that in the everyday. But still, I could do sadhana again. Probably I should do that before autumn in my new home and reconnect a little bit more to my sacral chakra, as well as the practices themselves, because I need to write them down, and what I can I do record, because I forget what it was exactly what I need to do, because there are many and actually you forget over time. If you don't regularly keep one of those traditions, practices going, I just sometimes remember, and then I really need to look it up. And it's not things that you can find on the internet. It's not just like hatha yoga, which is so well known and is big favorite exercise form for many people, and that you can find that everywhere. But like, I don't remember which light language, hand movement, and yet, but I can look it up. You know, that's important to me. So I have everything in a map, then I have everything on a little device, so I can find it again. Because I have my favorites, and I know I will probably be coming back. And then, yeah, they are waiting for me. Whenever I have time to reconnect to my own spiritual practice, I will. Yeah, thanks guys for hanging out with me. And see you next time, probably tomorrow. Bye.